Dave is back at it here to give everyone my very first Breaking Bad Season 5 episode review video. Before I get to that, though, pretty important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll say for you as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further, just to stay away from potential spoilers. This will be Breaking Bad Season 5, Episode number 1. The title of this episode is called Live Free or Die. This will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start off with a flash forward where Walt is in a Denny's restaurant. It's his 52nd birthday, and Walt has regrown his hair with a full beard, and he's using a New Hampshire driver's license with an alias. Now, he chats with the waitress and arranges his bacon in the shape of the number 52, but he seems a little despondent. He meets with Lawson in the restroom where he is given the keys to a car that has an M60 machine gun and ammunition in the truck. Now, in the current time, Walt does dispose of the pipe bomb materials in the Lily of the Valley plant involved in the successful plot against Gus Fring, killing Gus. Now, soon afterward, Skyler arrives home with Walter Jr. and Holly. Walter Jr. explains that Gus's illicit activities are the subject of a media frenzy and that the DEA believes the danger against Hank and Marie Schrader has been abated. Now, Skyler tries not to speak to Walt, explaining that she is now scared of him, and then Walt suddenly remembers the surveillance cameras that Gus installed in the lab, realizing that the footage Gus may have collected could incriminate him along with Jesse. Now, the next day, Mike Ehrmantraut is still recovering at Gus's makeshift clinic in Mexico, is told by that doctor that Gus has been killed. Enraged, Mike attempts to drive across the border, and he comes across Walt and Jesse. Mike prepares to shoot Walt, but Jesse persuades him to stand down as Walt explains that the security footage collected from the lab stands to incriminate Mike as well as Jesse and himself. Mike discloses that the feed went to Gus's laptop computer in the office at Los Porros Hermanos. He repeatedly urges Walt and Jesse to take their money and flee the area while they still can, which might have been a good thing to do. But his pleas are ignored. Meanwhile, Hank, having found the surveillance camera in the burned-out lab, seizes the laptop as evidence. Walt, Jesse, and Mike learn that the computer is being kept at an Albuquerque police outpost. Mike advises that they'd all leave the city, or that they should leave the city. But Walt pursues Jesse's idea of using a powerful magnet to destroy the hard drive on the laptop without having to break into the highly secured evidence room. The trio, they actually managed to acquire a truck fitted with industrial electromagnet from the junkyard old Joe that we saw in Season 3, and drive to the outpost. Now, once activated, the magnet destroys the evidence room and presumably the information on Gus's laptop. Despite being forced to abandon the truck, the three escape. As they drive away, Walt defies Mike's doubts and everything is settled, ultimately telling Mike that, so everything worked perfectly because I say so. And then Mike and Jesse have different reactions to Walt's, what he says. Jesse's expression conveys shock at Walt's answer, while Mike's expression conveys skepticism. And later, during an inventory of the evidence room, the police discover a slip of paper with details of a Cayman Islands bank account hidden in the framed picture from Gus's office, revealed only because of the destruction within the evidence room. The laptop was encrypted and thus useless to the DEA even before Walt and the others destroyed the evidence room, or destroyed the stuff that was in the evidence room. And then Walt's efforts have only given Hank a fresh lead in the form of bank account information. Who would have thought, right? Saul approaches Skyler at the car wash and tells her that Ted Beneke survives the injury. Well, he has to tell her about the injury, but he survived the encounter with Kuby and Huell. And then Skyler visits Ted in the hospital and finds that he has been fitted with a halo brace, and unintimidated Ted tells her that he will remain silent about what caused the injury. And then elsewhere, Walt argues with Saul about the lawyer's or their failure to inform him about Skyler's bailout to Ted. It's revealed that Huell was told to pickpocket Jesse's rice and cigarette, which is why Jesse believed it was lost. And then Saul presents the cigarette to Walt in a plastic bag, remarking that he had no idea that Walt was going to poison Brock in the service of killing Gus. Now, Saul tries to end his and Walt's business relationship, but Walt coldly tells him, "We're done when I say we're done." Walt is getting too big for his bridges, I think. And then when Walt returns home, he tells Skyler that he knows what happened with the whole Ted stuff, and he forgives her. And then Walt hugs Skyler as the episode ends. She reacts very visibly, but unspoken dread. So she's not really happy. I don't think Skyler wants anything to do with Walt anymore. So that's it for this episode. It was a good premiere. A little slow at times. I love the stuff with the magnet, with Jesse given the idea. I love the character of Old Joe. I think he's one of the most underrated characters on Breaking Bad because he's barely on the show, but when he shows up, he's kind of like, you think he's an idiot, but he's actually very highly intelligent. So as far as the score of this episode, I'm going to give it an 8.7 out of 10. I know that's a little lower than this episode gets. It's still a great episode, just, coming off of Face Off, the season 4 finale. This was a little bit of a letdown, just a little bit. And I gave that a 10 of, obviously. So, character of the episode, I'm going to give it to Jesse because Jesse had the whole idea. He gave the idea to Walt, and I don't know if Walt would have thought of that. Well, he probably would have, but nonetheless, Jesse's the character of the episode. So, you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, which I know you are, would you hurry up and smash that like button? You know you like Breaking Bad. If you're going to watch this video all the way through, you might as well hit the like button. It helps the channel out. If you know anybody that would be interested in this review, go ahead and share that to that person. If you could, sound off in the comment section about your thoughts on the episode. You can score it if you want. Talk to me about your favorite moments of the episode. If you have a standout character or favorite character, leave that. Or you can just talk about your favorite characters or favorite episodes of Breaking Bad in general. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, I told you I want to grow this channel. Don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.